What is up, guys? Welcome to HomeCraft Cocktails, cocktails you can make from the comfort of your home. My name is Briss, and last week we gave you 3 brunch cocktails that you can make at home. This week we're doing part 2 of that video series. We're going to give you 3 more brunch cocktails that you can do at home. And just like last week, since we're going to be doing 3 cocktails in one video, the history and origin portion of the cocktails will be much more summarized versions than my typical long, in-depth recaps. Also, I just got a brand new camera. So I will be experimenting with different angles and settings over the next, few weeks or so. So if you see just that inconsistency, I apologize in advance. Just trying to, really figure out what the best settings and stuff are. I'm not really used to cameras, so I'm actually pretty excited about that. But with that out of the way, let's get started. So for our first drink of today, we're going to do the Bellini. The Bellini was invented sometime between 1934 and 1948 by Giuseppe Cipriani, who was the founder of Harry's Bar in Venice, Italy. He named it the Bellini because its unique pink color tone reminded him of the chromatic paintings by the 15th century Venetian artist Giovanni Bellini. So the Bellini is like the younger, more attractive version of the mimosa. Instead of doing champagne and orange juice, you're going to do champagne and peach puree. Now I will say with peach puree, you can either buy a bottle of it online for about $20 to $30, or you can also make it at home by buying peaches, slicing them up, and then emulsifying or blending them until they get very, very puree-like. However, we're not going to be doing all that today. You can definitely just substitute peach juice in place of that and still have a really great product. So we're going to do 1.5 ounces of peach puree, or in our case, peach juice. And I got this peach juice. The brand is Lusa. I got it from my local grocery store for about $7, but you can also just buy simply peach or anything as long as it's peach juice. After your peach puree or peach juice, you'll then want to top it off with Prosecco. Prosecco, we're actually going to be doing another substitution here. Prosecco is a more expensive version than champagne. Typically, champagne bottles you can get for like $7 on the low end, whereas Prosecco typically starts at $15, maybe $20. They are very similar. They are both sparkling wines. However, Prosecco has, or sometimes called Prosecco, depending on who you ask, it has a fruitier sense of aromas and taste, whereas champagne will have a more yeast type aroma and taste. The large part of individuals will not be able to tell the difference, so if you want to go with champagne, you are more than welcome to do so. But if you also want to go that extra mile and get the traditional taste and feeling, by all means, shell out the extra money for the Prosecco. It's up to you. Just gonna fill this to the top. And of course, with the Bellini being the younger, better-looking sister to the mimosa, we have to give it a garnish. So you can just make a peach slice and place it right on top of the glass. There we go. And there you have a Bellini. Next, for drink number 2, we have the Sangria. Sangria is a type of punch that combines wine with fruit, sugar, and sometimes liquor. Now, the exact origins of the Sangria are unknown, but early versions of it date back as far as the Middle Ages, where wine was actually safer to drink than water. It was prevalent throughout Europe, especially Spain and Portugal, for many centuries, but it did not become beknownst to American drinkers until 1964 at the World's Fair in New York. The cocktail would prove to be popular among attendees due to its bold red color, along with its fruity taste, and it's been a staple drink ever since. So first off, we're going to start by adding an orange wheel, a lemon wheel, and a lime wheel to a mixing glass. And for my orange and my lemon, I've already have used these before, so that's why they have already been cut up, but that is all right. I might make this half of a wheel and put both in there because this is so big. Damn, this knife is dull. There we go. Next, you want to add 1/3 ounce of both lemon juice and simple syrup into your mixing glass. After that, then you'll just want to muddle gently. Next, you want to pour 4 ounces of red wine into your mixing glass. And I will be using Ménage à Trois's red blend. Then you want to do 1 ounce of brandy. Today we'll be using E&J's Grand Blue. I've never had this one before. Not much of a brandy or cognac person, but it doesn't really matter much when you have so many ingredients in one cocktail anyway, so it doesn't make a difference. 1/2 ounce of Orange Curacao or triple sec. Today I'll be using Harley Quinn's orange liqueur. This is my first time actually using this. I just picked it up yesterday, so interesting to see how it works. A 1/2 ounce of grape juice. A 1/2 ounce of orange juice. And a 1/2 ounce of club soda. After you have all your ingredients in there, you just want to give it a quick stir. Then you'll want to add ice to your sour glass, strain it to your sour glass, and then also garnish with an orange wheel. And again, this orange is big as hell, so I'm gonna do an orange slice instead. And there you have a sangria. And for our third and final drink, we have the bane of my existence, the Bloody Mary.
Oh, that is disgusting.
The creation of the Bloody Mary is most often credited to Fernand Patois back in the 1920s, who was a young bartender at Harry's New York Bar in Paris, France. And yes, it was called Harry's New York Bar, and it was located in Paris, France. I know, it's misleading. And also don't get it confused with Harry's Bar that we mentioned before from our first drink, which was in Italy. I know, it's confusing. There are many origin stories of how the Bloody Mary actually ended up being named, but the most popular story is that it was named after Queen Mary Tudor of England. The bloody part of the Bloody Mary stems from the fact that Queen Mary had 283 Protestants killed in the reinstitution of the 1554 Heresy Act. And the majority of those 283 deaths were death by fire.
Please! Not the knife! Please! Please help! Please! Ah!
So yeah, she was a bitch. This would give Queen Mary the unofficial title of Queen Bloody Mary. So first we're going to start off by filling a Collins glass with ice. Then you're going to pour 1.5 ounces of vodka and 1/2 ounce of lemon juice. And now comes the fun part. We're going to add a pinch of celery salt, a pinch of paprika, 2 dashes of Worcestershire sauce. Man, that shit getting everywhere. a dash of Tabasco sauce, a pinch of black pepper, and then fill the glass up with tomato juice and stir.
That's disgusting.
Finally, you're going to garnish with a lemon slice, celery stalk, and olives. Then you put a straw in it. There you have a Bloody Mary. And so there you have it, guys. The Bellini, the Sangria, and the Bloody Mary. All three iconic brunch cocktails for sure. And now that we have our drinks, let's give them a taste. Yes. So, the Bellini definitely is a step up from the mimosa. It might just be, taste fatigue because, I've had like thousands of mimosas, so many bottomless brunches, I can't even keep count, but the Bellini is definitely just, it feels more unique, tastes more unique, brings something different to the table. Obviously, champagne and orange juice, it kind of gets old after a while, so that nice implementation of peach juice or peach puree instead definitely gives it an added kick to the notch. Also, the color of it is just nice. The peach garnish is wonderful to look at as well. I opted to use a white peach. You can also use a southern peach. I was going to buy a bag of southern peaches, but they were filled with fruit flies at the store, and I'm like, no thanks. I'm good. I'll just stick with the white peaches. But yes, if you can't get your hands on some southern peaches, I actually do like those more. I feel like they're sweeter and just, I don't know, more ripe or something. Next, we have the Sangria. So the Sangria, the taste can change, especially depending on what wine you choose to utilize in it. I opted to use a red blend. You can, use any assortment of red wines. Also, you can also make a white Sangria, which obviously you use white wine. But for this one, the Menage a Trois that I use, it's not quite as sweet as other red blends that I've tried. At least it's not in the conjunction with the different fruits that we muddled, but still tastes good. Sangria, definitely one of my favorite brunch cocktails. You can also drink it, in the fall. Really, with the deep red color it has. It looks nice at all times. The orange garnish is good. You can also, garnish with lemons, limes, whatever, because we've used all of that in this drink. And lastly, we have the Bloody Mary. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to hold you. That's not as bad as I remember it. I've only had 2 other Bloody Marys in my entire life. That was once at a brunch in Vegas, and then another time at a brunch here in Columbus. Don't ask me what restaurant it was, I cannot remember, but I gave it 2 good tries, and it just was not the drink for me. But either the way I made it just happened to taste better than the other 2 times I've had it, or I might just have acquired a more refined palate. Who knows? I did used to hate this drink. It's not as bad this time. It's good enough for me to try a second sip. So it is very unique. I don't know any other drink that uses tomato juice, at least out of the classic cocktails that are popular. Also, in terms of the garnishes, we have a lemon slice here, and olives, and a celery stalk. Celery stalk is definitely more common for Bloody Marys, but You can also put, I've seen like clams, lobster claws if you're down in like New Orleans. I mean, it can really get pretty ridiculous. I'm not a huge fan of it, so I don't have that much knowledge about all the different garnishes, but you can literally just look up loads and loads of garnishes for Bloody Marys. I do say though, I do like the exotic look of it. I mean, it kind of reminds me of a tiki cocktail in the sense of, you know, just very extravagant garnishes that makes it stand out. So I do like that aspect. The taste, like I said, it is something that you have to get over. It's a very polarizing cocktail. You know, either you love it or you hate it. I don't think I've ever heard anyone be in between on a Bloody Mary. So I am starting to like I said, I'm starting to turn into seeing the appreciation of the drink. It's still very different. It's going to take some time, but you know, it is what it is. So thank you guys for watching this part 2 of my brunch cocktail series. I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know, you know, what your thoughts are. If you love Bloody Marys, tell me how you make yours or your sangrias. Or, you know, out of the French 75, the Bellini, or the Mimosa, which of those are the 3 family members you like the most? So, with that being said, guys, thank you for watching this week's episode, and I'll catch you next week for the next round. Peace.